I'm not gonna. Alrighty, everyone. Good evening. My name is Brian Rodriguez. I'm the chair for the Youth Activities Task Force here in the town of Miami Lakes. This is our monthly committee meeting. Today is July 19th, and I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7:10 p.m. At this time, we do not have a secretary. Would anyone like to volunteer to be the secretary for this meeting? So Eric Valerdi? So Eric Valerdi will be the secretary for this meeting, and we'll move on to the roll call.
Brian Rodriguez,
Present.
Eric Grass, Flavio Nunez, Nancy Matos, Alega Quintero, Ariana Rejas, Juan Rodriguez,
Here.
Eddie Cedeño,
Here.
Eric Valerdi, present, Leila Cobello, Maritza Costa, present, okay. Mark Gomez,
Here.
Daniel Gonzalez, Josh Rios,
Here.
Mario Pinera III.
Here.
Perfect.
And we have quorum. Just for the record, let's remember that we no longer have Eric Grass or Nancy Matos in the committee, so they will be removed from the roster. That meaning that we have 3 open spots in the committee. Okay, so we'll move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments? Ernie?
Before we go ahead and proceed today, this is an email that I wanted to read out to you all so that you are aware. And it says, we have a sunshine meeting budget on Wednesday, August 18th at 6:30 p.m. We would need to reschedule the YATF and NIC for that day. The dates that I have been given, and I think that maybe this is something we can go ahead and just take care of now. The dates that I was given was Tuesday, August 17th at 8:30 p.m. Monday, August 23rd, there is 5:30 p.m. and there is 8:30 p.m. And then we have Tuesday, August 24th at 8:30 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, I can do the after 8:30 p.m. any day. So I guess maybe you can get, or actually the chair plans that meeting, so I'll get in contact with you.
Sorry, for clarification, what is this
That's for the next meeting.
to do the sunshine?
No.
Oh.
So our next meeting, there's actually a sunshine meeting that was scheduled on top of our meeting. So our meeting was canceled, so we have to reschedule it.
Okay, sorry. I thought it was that we had. Forget,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And I'll
Thank you.
get with Ernie by the end of this week so we can plan that exact meeting date and time for you guys. Keep in mind, Ernie, I don't know, I think it's still considered a monthly meeting, so attendance is mandatory. Yes. Perfect. Any other public comments? Seeing none, we will move on to item 4, order of business deferrals, additions, deletions. Is there anything that anyone wants to add, delete from the agenda, move?
I'd like to make note of a change for the agenda for the last meeting and the notes that remain. Brian was spelled incorrectly.
Yep, so we'll go over, so we'll add, do you want to add an item for the approval of minutes? Or is it the agenda itself?
No, just the change of name, like to correct the name. Correct spelling.
Where?
Well, after order of business, the name is spelled from with an I to a Y twice. Under the July 8th note for the minutes. Yeah, so
Got it, that's fine. We'll go over it and,
it's a minor thing.
yes, so I'm going to add a few items to the agenda. We're going to add item 4A, which is the approval of minutes for, I think we just have the ones from the July 8th meeting, correct, Ernie? Okay. And then I'm going to also add my apologies, I'm going to add item 7A, which is actually, I'm sorry, not item 7A, item 5A, which is going to be Halloween. And I'm going to edit item 7, and it's going to be election for vice chair and secretary. That's a motion. Is there anything else that anyone wants to add to the agenda? Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Oh,
Just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we do have another meeting following ours. So your comments, questions, please keep them short and concise out of respect for the following committee, which will be here.
perfect. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. I'm actually going to amend my own motion and add item 4B, which is Robert's Rules of Order. Do we have a second on my amendment? Any discussion?
We discussed that at the last meeting. So
Yep,
you,
and there were some people that were not here, so we're going to go.
just for sake of time, again, I'll
Yeah,
just
it'll be
mention
quick. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. So we're going to move on to item 4A, which is the minutes. Take a minute or two to go over the minutes. If you have any edits or changes that need to be done on the minutes, feel free to make a motion.
I just wanted to amend it on A, where it says Robert's Rules of Order, where it says Josh Rios suggests the members should receive a copy of Robert's Rules of Order. More specifically, electronic copy, like sent to our emails, if that's possible.
That's fine. Then we could go ahead and once we get into that item that I added, we could do that. I'm gonna go ahead and put in an edit for my name under Robert's Rules of Order. It should be Brian with an I instead of a Y, as well as item B, which should also be with an I instead of a Y, as well as item A under unfinished business. It should also be with an I, as well as under summer event, it should also be with an I. There's a few instances in this agenda that have it wrong. And that's about it for me. Is there anything else that anyone needed to add? You can just put to change all the Brian's from Y's to I's. Anything else that anyone needs to edit in the agenda?
A motion to approve the agenda, the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. So we're going to move on to item 4B. We did talk about this at the last meeting. It's just a little refresher for those that weren't here with Robert's Rules of Order. Just one thing that I wanted to bring up. One of the biggest things in Robert's Rules is there's no interrupting anyone while the meeting is going on. Everything must come through the chair in order to speak, and the chair will give you that permission to speak or grant you that permission to speak. Everyone understand? Just so we're not all on top of each other and interrupting each other throughout the meeting, so we can run smoothly and efficiently. Anyone have anything else on Robert's Rules? You said you had something. Go ahead, Josh.
Just the electronic copy, like of all the members get an electronic copy instead of a physical copy. Because me personally, I never got a physical, but I think it's more efficient to have an electronic through email or something like that.
And I'm sure Ernie can send that to us.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. And just a little FYI, if you go further into the packet, the Robert's Rules have been placed for you there. But I don't see why we cannot make that possible for you.
Perfect. So then we'll move on to item 5. It should be old business
Just where in the packet is it?
in the back.
Oh, in the back.
So all the way in the back, that's actually our committee rules. Yeah. Perfect. So we'll move on to item 5, which is the summer event. Mario, do you have an update for us regarding the summer event?
I do. I did not get a contact from the Big Bounce House, but I have come up with another plan that we can use. It's called WorthFund.net. They actually supply water slides and big obstacle courses like we wanted to do, which I will give to you later after this meeting. But other than that, that's all I have for you.
Okay, so we did speak a little bit about it at our special call meeting. To give you an update on it as well, I think as a consensus at the committee, we kind of went off of we're not going to do an event like that if the residents have to pay for it. We're trying to make this a free event. Because on the plans that you guys brought to us at the last meeting, it was food trucks as well as the Big Bounce America, which both cost money. So we're trying to keep the cost as low as possible for the residents. So at least give them the bounce houses if they want to do it for free. And then if they want to pay for food, they can. Does
Through the chair.
anyone go in?
Could we have, I'm sorry,
Mario.
Mario. Could we have Mario elaborate on the second option that you mentioned? And then you said Big Bounce is off the table. So could you just mention like is there a cost involved with that they charge per person? Do you have any more details?
I have here, it tells me here, displaying price is up to 6 hours, and for additional price, it's $10 per more. So I believe it depends because we're going to have to pay for it. And if we're going to go for a water slide, it's here, I'm seeing $400. But if we want an obstacle course, I'll let you know.
Through the chair. So there's some vendors that I know have used in the past. I think that's what we did talk a little bit about the last meeting, that we could probably maybe look into some of those, or Ernie could probably get you maybe a list of those, and we could probably throw this person into the loop there and try to see what the best option is.
As long as they're not charging per person, and maybe we can work something out with them, which we've done in the past with the movie nights, where it's technically per person, but they give us a group rate, right? If they can do a group rate with us, then we can kind of work on something like that. So we don't want people paying $10 to $20 a person and then having to go pay for food, right? I wouldn't want to do that. The bounce in a bounce house and then go pay for food after. If you have a family of 3 kids, you're paying $20 a kid. That's $60 right off the bat for an hour. So just keep that in mind when we're going towards something like that. Ernie?
Just so everyone here is informed, I have done a three quote step process to go ahead and try to find the I guess the best in terms of price for our water slides and activities, and we have come down to a finalist. I believe that they were priced a little bit over $1,800 for 4 items, which is 2 big slides and 2 big slides, an obstacle course, and a slip and slide. And that's what was for $1,800. That's including generators and employees.
Cool. Also, keep in mind that I did request to council the other day, since we did vote on it, all funds or all remaining funds on the committee for this fiscal year have gone to this event.
Through the chair, how many hours was that for the 1,800? Like the whole event, I guess it'll cover the whole event.
The event is from 11 to 2, so it's from start to finish.
Okay.
I am currently in talks with Solvi, who is the young lady who is in charge of the food trucks, and she will be out there and with some food trucks for the event as well.
Perfect. Then I would suggest planning another subcommittee meeting just so we can be on top of it. All right. Is there anything else on the summer event?
Can you guys hear me?
Very low, but yes.
Great. So I did want to confirm that we received the sponsorship form for the Giving Gators, so they will be out there. And Ms. Eileen from the Giving Gators did request that the EAD be invited So I would just want to ask how we would go on the process. Does a formal invitation have to be extended, or can they show up to help the Giving Gators with whatever they're giving away?
I would suggest inviting them or them coming to us and asking us to be a part of the event.
Great, thank you.
And they have to contribute something to be part of the event. We did speak about this at the last meeting.
Just another FYI, we have currently reached out not only to Giving Gators, but Mr. Panera is here as well, and we have spoken, and it is going to be happening. We will have them out there as well, and they will be giving some in-kind donations, hopefully through, is it Miami-Dade College?
Go ahead.
A station, and we have a sponsor to give out literature, some books that we have available, as well as Miami-Dade College has asked us to partner up with you, the YTF. They want to be involved in the back to school event. So we are waiting on their, I guess, ideas of what they want to bring. And I guess we will bring that back to you or to Ernesto to see how that goes.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else for the summer event that anyone wants to bring up? If not, it can be brought up at the subcommittee meeting. Perfect. So we'll move on to item 5A. This one's going to be very quick. With item 5A, it's for Halloween. I know we're a few months early, but this is one of those items that we don't get this money until right before the event starts. So with the budget, although it hasn't been confirmed yet, start bringing ideas to the table. Next meeting, hopefully we can create a subcommittee for this event. This is the second biggest event for the town, or for our committee, third biggest in the town. Second being the Spring Fling, which is our biggest event. And then the 4th of July fireworks is number 1 in the town for size. So just start bringing in ideas. If you guys have not seen what we've done in the past, go online. I'm sure there's videos or pictures out there, and you can see some of our ideas. I also wanted to bring up the other day when I was in front of council, they expressed bringing our old layouts back on how we used to do events. They don't like parades, apparently. So just keep that in mind. Parades are not their favorite thing when it comes to events. If we want to do a parade for, let's say, our holiday event again, we can do that. We have that power as a committee to vote for it, since it was so popular on the last one, but it wasn't as popular for Spring Fling. So bringing that forward, maybe doing Spring Fling, Halloween, all these events back into our normal fashion of how we used to do them. That's what they want us to do. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on Halloween? And maybe bringing this back to how we used to do it, which was almost like last year, just without the cars. This is how we usually do it. No? All right. So we'll move on from Halloween to item 6, which is committee rules. We attached a copy of committee rules to the packet that you have in front of you. Just as a refresher, I like to, I won't go over them personally with everyone, but it is a good refresher for every committee member on the committee just to go through them and be acquainted with what each committee rule is and how we're run as a committee. I also brought it up because at the next council meeting, I will be presenting to council our proposed change that we did vote on as a committee to make all student committee members accountable with the missing 3 meetings rule and being removed from the committee after 3 unexcused absences. So I just wanted to bring that up. That will be presented to council at the next council meeting. We were unable to do it at the last meeting due to time constraints. But just keep in mind that will be coming back up to council. So for any students, that rule may or may not be changed. Just be aware of that. Does anyone have anything? And under committee rules, I'll also bring up some committee updates because they go with our rules as well. I did speak to the attorneys in the town regarding the social media platforms. Unfortunately, due to the laws here in Miami Lakes and copyright laws, we are not allowed to do any social media for this committee. Any social media that you've seen on other committees are most likely private organizations that have a committee. I forgot the name of the actual groups, but they are able to have these social media platforms because they're not directly controlled or ran by the actual town of Miami Lakes. So due to law constraints, we will be unable to do any social media platforms when it comes to this committee. I know I'd spoken to Josh about it, which basically means share it yourself. Once the town puts out flyers or information regarding our committee, share it on your own personal social medias to get the word out. I know everyone here has, or most of us have our own social media platforms or profiles on platforms. And once we share them, I know we have different followers. So share them and hopefully we get as much engagement as possible. Does anyone have any questions regarding anything I just went over, social media or committee rules? Seeing none, we will move on to item 7, which is the election for vice chair and secretary. Our vice chair did resign, so we do have an open spot for the vice chair position. Our secretary did not resign, but the only reason I put on the election is I did speak to the town, and if the committee wanted to, we can appoint a new secretary. Unfortunately, our secretary has not been here for the past few months because of school. And I thought it was important to try to get a new secretary that does show up to every meeting. So it is up to you guys if you want to make that position open and vacant for a new secretary.
Through the
on
chair.
committee.
My thought on just that last comment there is, have you talked to the current secretary about the situation?
Unfortunately, I cannot speak to anyone out of the committee due to sunshine law. And that
Through the
is
chair, have
subject.
you spoken to Ernie to maybe discuss with her lack of attendance?
I cannot speak to them about that due to sunshine because that is a voting
You could talk.
subject.
No, through the chair, you could talk to Ernie, I believe, about. I think Ernie can reach out to her.
Yep, and I did
for the
speak to
committee.
Ernie.
You spoke to her. He spoke to you. Spoke.
No,
to her.
I spoke to Ernie about it.
Okay.
I spoke to the town staff about it, and
Just-
the
through the chair.
Attorney.
To get my point out there, basically, I would just try to make sure that she's doesn't want maybe a second chance at maybe coming to all the meetings. If not, then let's just move on and do this. If someone has already attempted to discuss that with her.
My apologies. Who are we referring to?
this is to Flavia Nunez, and to just give you a little background, Flavia only came as secretary to 1 or 2 meetings since the last time we appointed her. And we're almost through the end of or more than halfway through the year here. And she has not shown up. I think Flavia is a great committee member, but unfortunately, I'd rather us vote for a new secretary that will show up to meetings. Yes, everyone's busy with work or school, but there has to be a priority to show up to these meetings, especially when you're appointed to one of these positions as an officer on the committee. That's the only reason I put it on here, just to give someone a fair chance that shows up to these meetings to become that secretary. Because unfortunately, at every meeting you've seen this for the new committee members, I have appointed people to every single, or I have asked someone to be the secretary for every meeting. Okay, so we'll start off with.
Through the chair, I would, I think I would feel more comfortable if we do try to figure out having a conversation with Ms. Flavia Nunez, even if it's, obviously it would have to be the town staff that would do that and our town liaison. But just so like that, she won't get sideswiped should she come to the next meeting. I just think it would be the fairest way. And then
Yep.
if we have that conversation and she's not willing and able to continue that service, then yeah, obviously next meeting we should take the vote. But as of right now, I think that maybe we should focus on the vice chair, which is an actual vacancy rather than.
That's fine.
than
Yeah,
fill up
of course. Yeah, I just brought it up just in case the committee wanted to bring it up. Unfortunately, Me personally, I get your whole thing of saying, hey, do you still want to do this? But after so many times being absent, we're going on 5, 6 times. She's a student that cannot be removed from the committee because they're exempt from this rule. So at the end of the day, it's kind of unfortunate because they've done it in the council. They've done it everywhere in different government bodies. You don't have to go and ask someone, hey, are you going to come do this? I'm sorry, but this is a volunteering thing. And then I'm at the end of the day having to call Moritz or Eric or someone else here to be the secretary at every single meeting that we have. If I'm going to be honest with you, and I've spoken to Ernie and Christina about this, I was a student and I started this committee as a freshman in high school. I did not miss one meeting, and I have not missed one meeting in 9 years. If you're going to join this committee, you have to make it a point to show up to this committee. You committed your time to be a part of this committee, you have to be here. Unfortunately, if you're not here, and you're elected as an officer on the committee, there has to be some punishment not punishment, but something has to happen. Because one, yes, she's a great committee member, but she's a student. She's not removed after 3 meetings like adults are. So since she's not removed as an adult because she's a student, then now we're in this predicament where she could just keep calling excused absences. And then I'm still here making these decisions on who's going to be the secretary for this meeting. That's the only reason I did it. It's not to go behind her back and say, hey, I don't want you to be the secretary. It's for the flow of the committee and making sure, hey, we have a secretary that's going to be here every single meeting and do what they're supposed to do. Yes, like I said, people have school, lives, jobs. I was in high school. I did all the extracurricular activities, and I was still at every single meeting because I made time for that meeting when I signed up for this committee. You know when our committee meetings are? They're the 3rd Wednesday of every single month. You signed up for that, make time to be there, right? That's my thought on that process when it comes to one of the officers isn't here, right? Because we've had secretaries in the past that never showed up to anything and we never removed them. So I think it's time to take action on this, unfortunately, and
Through the chair.
and have a new secretary on the committee.
I think I can't speak for everyone, but I definitely agree with you completely, wholeheartedly. But I think a warning is something that's just should be done before we go down that step. So again, it's just something out of courtesy, a warning. And I think we should probably definitely table this for the agenda next time. Definitely make it a point that it's on there, and then we could vote that day. So why don't we just set it up? Why don't we motion to vote on a position for secretary at next meeting?
So that would have to be put on the agenda for next meeting. Ernie, you had something?
Just to piggyback off of what you were saying, and Dr. Cedeno, yes, I do agree with what both of you mentioned. However, Mark does have a very valid point, and what I will do is I will reach out to Ms. Nunez, because we in reality don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's happening in her life, and it is only fair to at least give her a heads up, letting her know, hey, why are you not making it to the meetings, knowing that it is every 3rd Wednesday of the month,
Okay.
which she is very much aware. So I will go ahead and I will reach out to her
Through
tomorrow.
the chair. So I say that because that way next time we are voting regardless, and then you know, if she's here, we could have a vote where she is also present and any other person that may want to be nominated, and we could vote. That I think would be the fairest way. If she doesn't show up, then it's a very easy vote. If not, we could, the whole committee could decide on that together.
All right. So we are going to open up the election portion of this item now, because the secretary position is on there now and we all voted to let me add it to there. We do have to vote on it, whether we're going to vote in a new secretary or not, but that is after the vice chair position. Because it is on the agenda for election of a new vice chair and secretary. So we're going to open up the first portion of this election, which is for the vice chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair here? Or you can nominate yourself if you'd like. And I'll make a nomination for Eric Valerdi for vice chair. Eric, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
So we have a nomination for Eric. Are there any more nominations? I think we actually need, that's a motion actually. So I'll motion to nominate Eric Valerdi and he accepted it. Do we have a second? Second. All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Are there any other amendments to add anyone for a vice chair? All right. So we do have to vote on it. Mr. Secretary, if you could please call the roll one by one.
Okay. Brian Rodriguez.
Yes.
Oh, Eric is not here. Bobby is not here. Nothing. Ariana Rejas.
Yes.
Juan Rodriguez. Eddie Cedeno.
Yes.
Eric Blurdy. Yes. Maritza Costa.
Yes.
So he cannot vote since he is on the phone.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Mark Gomez.
Yes.
Daniel Gonzalez.
Yes.
Josh Rios.
Yes.
Mario Pinera III.
Yes.
Congratulations, and the motion passes. You are now the vice chair for the Youth Activities Task Force.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on, we do have this on the agenda. Do we have any nominations for the secretary position?
I'll move to table the secretary position until the next meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'm going to make an amendment. And my amendment is to actually nominate Maritza Costa for the secretary position on the Youth Activities Task Force. To your motion. Do we have a second on my amendment?
I'll second that.
So the new motion is to nominate Maritza Acosta as secretary for the Youth Activities Task Force. We do have a second by Josh. Do we have any discussion?
Through the chair, I may be new, but like I don't know Flavia. Maybe she's very nice and all that, but like you said, if you're committed to this, you volunteer for this, you have to be a part of it. And yeah, I understand it is fair for her to be here, but how many times has she missed? I mean, for as long as I've been here, she hasn't been in any meeting. So, and I know Moritz, even though he may not be here now, but he's making the point to even be on the phone. So I think he's dedicated enough to take this position, and I think he knows it well enough from being appointed by Brian every meeting to understand the secretary position pretty well. So that's why I would vote for Moritz.
Through the chair. So I completely understand your point. If it were me and I had a chair position and this situation happened, I would probably never come back to the committee. And I think she is a very good committee member before being a secretary. So maybe she signed up for something that she wasn't 100% ready for. So that's where I'm coming from as a courtesy of still maintaining someone really good on the committee out of good faith. So completely understand. That's why I'm saying next time plan it as already having a vote so that then we could state our point as a committee and vote on the appropriate person. I'm not trying to not vote someone in or anyone else in or not. As someone that's on other committees in the town, in the other committee that we're having issues similar to this, that's how it's been managed, where we have warned people, made a formal warning through the liaison, and then the following time we took care of it. So I'm not saying not to take care of the situation, but I think it comes off in a different way.
Yeah, and I completely get what you mean. There's nothing against Flavia. I think Flavia is an amazing committee member. She's been here for years. But unfortunately, we're at this point where this committee member has not shown up to meetings. Like I said, they are not part of that rule because they are a student where if they've missed 3 meetings, they are removed. And since she hasn't even shown up to these meetings, unfortunately, the committee does have to make that or that hard decision to replace the secretary, even though they're not
Through
here.
the chair,
Go ahead.
has the liaison reached out to her and warned her about the situation?
The liaison doesn't have to reach out to her. That's the responsibility of the committee person. to
Through the
show up to
chair,
these
all I'm
meetings.
saying is that I think that's the better approach here, but that's my position. So, and you guys know that. So
That's fine, and we'll go on.
I'll
and we'll
motion
continue.
that-
And Mark
okay.
Gomez, go
Yeah,
ahead.
just through the chair, I would like to just mention two things. Number one, you had mentioned, Chair, that you were going to be speaking before the council to amend that rule where students won't be allowed to be exempt from those 3 meetings. I think that it would be fair to wait until after that amendment happens to just review this again. And then I don't see, I have nothing against Moritz. Actually, I think that he would be a very fair secretary. I think that I would vote in favor of him if the conversation was next month. But I do think that conversation that we as a committee would ask Mr. Soto to have, I think that conversation will be just the right thing to do. And I understand 100% that she may not have been here or anything like that, but like Dr. Sereno had said, if I was in her shoes, I would at least want to be warned and know that I'm going to be removed from this position because of my lack of attendance, and it won't be as harsh as just showing up the next meeting expecting to be the secretary and not. So that's just my point through the chair.
So it's not so they don't know that they were removed from that position, because once you're removed from the position of secretary, the liaison is supposed to send an email to them, letting them know that the committee chose to appoint a new secretary to the committee. It's not that they're just going to come back and they think they're the secretary and all of a sudden they're not. No, they will be given that notification and that contact saying, hey, you haven't been here. The committee has voted for a new secretary. Unfortunately, we don't know if she's going to be here at the next meeting, right? She might have school stuff. That's what I believe is what's been going on with her. So because of that, I think we have to make this tough decision to make or to appoint a new secretary that shows up to every meeting, that has a great attendance to this committee. And yes, I'd understand if you missed one here and there, but she hasn't shown up in 5 months. or
through the
more.
chair, I just don't see the big point between today and at our next meeting when we're going to have whoever's going to be there next time could be the secretary at that same meeting. So
That's
I
fine.
just don't see a huge difference between now and then. That's, I guess, my point here.
That's
I think
fine.
it's just adding extra drama to the situation.
Juan,
All right, through the chair, do we know why she's like missing?
she hasn't sent any excused reasons. Ernie?
Since I started working with the town and became the liaison for the YATF, I have not received any email, any information whatsoever from Ms. Nunez. Like I said, I can go ahead and reach out to her tomorrow, first thing.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Mr. Vice Chair, please take the roll.
Can we go over the motion one more time?
So the motion is to nominate Moritz Acosta for the secretary of the committee. We have a second by
I have
Josh.
Yes.
Mark?
Quick question to the chair, and maybe the liaison will have the answer to this. There was a motion and a second before.
And there was an amendment.
Yeah,
Oh, you're right. Okay, we could go off of yours if you want.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Mine could be
I will
void.
accept the amendment if that's-
Yeah, mine could be a void if you want.
Yeah,
And then we go off of yours and then we can do my motion after.
sure, yeah. So I would like to.
So
retain that
his,
motion, yeah.
his original motion is to move this to the next meeting
Okay.
for the election for the secretary. And we have a second by Eddie Sereno.
Yeah, again, my motion was to move the voting on the secretary, the election on the secretary to the next meeting after a conversation.
That's fine.
with the liaison. Yeah.
And then what I'll do, and then we'll do a roll call vote, just
Okay.
because there's been a lot of back and forth. So do we have any more discussion on their item? Go ahead.
For clarification,
Go
so we're voting on pushing this to the next meeting?
Yep.
Yes or no? Okay.
That's what the vote is for.
Give me 1 second.
I'll go over it after. So
No, yeah. I'll probably watch the recording after. That works. Okay. So Brian Rodriguez.
no.
Okay. Ariana Rejas.
Yes.
Juan Rodriguez.
Yes.
Eddie Cedeno.
Yes.
Eric Valerdi. Yes. Maritza Costa. Oh, he can't vote. Okay. Sorry about that. Mark Gomez.
Yes.
Daniel Gonzalez.
Yes.
No. Okay. Josh Rios.
No.
Mario Panera.
No.
No. Okay.
Through the chair.
So yeah.
I know he can't vote, but could you make a record that he said yes to push it to the next meeting, Marit?
You cannot because it was a vote.
I mean, either way.
You could make a note of it.
Then
That's fine.
there was enough votes for to yes for next meeting.
So the motion does pass. It will be brought up in the next meeting for secretary elections, meaning Flavia will be removed from the secretary position. So please keep that in mind. Can you please let her know that she will be removed after this meeting as secretary, and a new secretary will be voted in at the next meeting?
Through the chair, I don't think that's what the motion was
That was what
initially,
the motion was.
No, my motion.
that we would vote for that.
Remove
The election.
The secretary, and for the liaison type of conversation with them, and bring us back.
But keep in mind, saying moving the election for secretary means the secretary will be removed, and we will have a new secretary. That's what that motion was when you say the election for secretary.
I think that's, through the chair, I think that's open to interpretation. What he's trying to say is that it needs to be just, we are doing the same thing we did today. Currently, she's still the secretary.
No, she's still the secretary
Yeah.
today. I'm talking about at the next meeting.
So when we
will
open
have
the
a
next
new-
meeting-
We will be voting in a new secretary, no matter what.
Yes, we are
That's what
voting
I
in a
got
new
from your
secretary, but you're saying that you're removing her as of right now.
No,
so
I
then-
didn't say right now. I
Okay, that's
said
what I understood.
At the next
I
meeting,
think he understood.
she will not be the secretary. She will be the secretary, but will be removed from that position. As we just made a motion to
Through
have
the
the
chair?
elections for the secretary.
I think the thought was that she would be the secretary at that meeting. If she shows up, she is the secretary, but there will be a vote for secretary at that
Yes.
same meeting.
Yeah.
Which, if she would like to be nominated
Of
and
course, she
depends
could
on
be
it, we will have a
renominated,
fair
yes.
vote on
Yes,
that.
yeah.
So she is still the secretary.
She's still the
Yeah.
secretary, will technically be removed as secretary, then she can be nominated again for secretary, if that makes sense.
So through the chair, it's
Yeah,
like a
because it has
vote of
to
no
be-
confidence, correct?
Mhm.
This, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so basically she's still the secretary until that election happens, right? Once that election happens, unfortunately, she will not be the secretary. You can nominate her to be the secretary again. But after that point, it's up to the committee whether to keep her as secretary or to nominate her and vote her in as secretary again, or to vote a new secretary in.
For the chair, it's almost effectively like voting to have a vote on whether we should have an election. Effectively the same.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's in easier terms, yes. Does anyone have anything else regarding this item?
So the motion did not change.
The motion did not change.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to the adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting? We have a motion by Mark Gomez, second.
I'll second.
Second by Eddie Cedeno. The meeting is adjourned at 7:53 PM.
Right. Two last points we were last speaking about. If regarding the implants, if you have multiple teeth in a row that need to be replaced, basically, I think economically, if you have 4 or more teeth that need to be replaced, a more cost-effective option is actually instead of getting this, if you get all individual implants, you get crazy expensive. But the other option is you get something called a supporting bar, right? It's basically like a bar, right? That's implanted into the gum. You have like typically like 2 implants that are actually supporting that prosthetic that were all the teeth replaced on top. For example, you can replace essentially almost sometimes your whole, like your quarter your arch with like two. Take care of my- If you're missing like a quarter, it's possible sometimes to replace that whole section.
Yeah, like putting the whole thing on there.
Yeah, exactly. Just essentially two screws in your thumb. If you're doing like your whole arch, it's common. Like the most efficient method I've seen is something called the all-on-4. Essentially, two screws here and then like two screws back here that are supporting all 14 teeth.
Yeah, they're all gonna be little.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, that once you like start this one and this one, this one, this one, by the time it should be like I should go in there and say, hey, remove all of them and put this thing on.
That's what ends up happening if they're not all adjacent. Like if you have like a tooth in between that you want to keep, it doesn't make that possible because the bar needs to go under. It can't be split. It's all a continuous thing. One thing I will say that when it comes to implants or a lot of things in dentistry, I've seen that things can get expensive, but in my opinion, the biggest problem is actually the transparency. When it comes to implants, since I've had to tell my mother a lot on changing pricing. On changing, like price, I've had to do like a lot of research on all the dental codes and prices and work with a lot of the insurances and all that. I've seen that when it comes to implants, actually many different codes that can be used to define an implant that people know it, that actually have different prices and even more variation. So the screw, believe it or not, the screw itself, there are like 4 different kind of
That's off. That's off. That's off. You crazy? Oh, now. All right, good evening. We are going to about to start the Neighborhood Improvement Committee. We're calling this meeting to order. It is 9:07. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Sure. Felicia Salazar. Guerlin Luli Escar. Helen Roldan. Javier Ley Soto. Present. Marlene Diaz. Reynaldo Garcia. Robert Ibarra. Rosie Prieto. Mario Pineda.
Present.
Secretary Adrian Ardilla, present. Vice Chairperson Jesus Mendoza.
Present.
Chairperson Rudy Lloredo. Present. We have quorum.
All right, thank you. We will proceed. Order of business, deferrals, additions, deletions.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make an addition.
Go ahead.
Under the approval of minutes, I'd like to add the April 21st, 2021 minutes for approval as they were tabled at the last May 19th, 2021 meeting.
Okay, so that will be 5B, correct?
That's correct, 5B.
April 21st.
And I would like to make a deletion of, well, actually, I don't know if I can. Old business, sustainability.
You can delete it.
Okay, delete.
Which one?
Sustainability.
6A.
6A. Okay, done. Any others? All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? All right, the ayes have it. We'll move on to public comments. Does anyone from the public would like to speak? Can you give a mic, please? Oh, there it is.
Miguel Martinez with the chair of the Blasting Advisory Board. I came here, you recall, last meeting regarding our blasting bike ride. We have been going forward with the ride to do it in the beginning of September or mid-September, and we're requesting your cooperation with the matter. We're looking at funding, requesting funding from the town, and it's understanding that you guys, although typically handle it, has not done it this year. So there's some monies in that account where things can be utilized. So that being said, we're looking for cooperation with the committees. I can tell you that we're getting some serious traction. We have Fabricio, State Representative Fabricio, and Renee Garcia, Senator Renee Garcia have confirmed that they will be joining us with the ride. So hopefully they'll be leading the pack. We'll give them the path how to get there with a GPS, I guess. And we're also doing a rally towards the end of the year, a large rally creating awareness. I gave a presentation at the last meeting of ours regarding the Surfside collapse and the recent apartment collapse and how it ties into the issues that we're all facing. So we're looking to continue to unify the community. It's something that I'd rather not be here, quite honestly. I'd rather be in Tahiti. So that being said, though, we're looking at, again, to respectfully request you guys with cooperation and assisting us with this matter.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thanks. Anyone else from the public? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Item number 5A, approval of the May 19 minutes. Did everyone get a copy of those minutes and had a chance to review them?
Yes. I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion by Mario. Second. All right, any discussions? I would say just to change, Mr. Secretary, on the title on the top, instead of meeting agenda, just take agenda off and just put minutes, meeting minutes. That should be it. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? All right, the ayes have it. Now we're moving on to 5B, the approval of the April minutes. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I know you just got those. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for providing those for us. Does anyone have any questions? All right, do we have a motion to approve the April 21st meeting?
A motion.
Mario, second by? Second by Jesus. All right, any additional discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Moving forward with item number 6B,
Thank you.
dog feces. Ms. Roldan.
Ew, what a gross word. I'm going to refer to it as dog waste. So the last meeting that we had, the board members asked me to come up to get answers for a few questions. So the questions being exactly where would the proposed dog waste stations go? What is what's it called? What's the cost to the town? And then, is this a cost moving forward? Is this something that needs to be added in the coming years? So I did get those answers from the town. I worked with Jeremy and with Danny Angel. And basically the locations that they would like additional assistance with would be 2 additional dog waste stations on 82nd Ave. So that's Montrose Ave. And 2 on Oak Lane. There currently aren't any on Oak Lane. Just to help, along the perimeter of the park, adding that and trying to reduce the amount of dog waste that ends up in the park. Let me see what else. In terms of the cost, so it wouldn't actually be an extra cost to maintain it. The town right now has a flat rate with services for waste, and it's already on the route that's serviced. So it wouldn't be additional, individuals that are going to be out there. They're already out there, and it wouldn't be an additional cost to the town moving forward. So what we would really be doing is just adding the 4 waste stations, if you guys agree with me, and putting some money aside for marketing, for digital marketing is what I'm proposing. So I'm requesting the 4 waste stations each comes out to approximately $300. So that's about $1,200. And then I'm proposing an additional $300 to go towards digital marketing, just to kind of encourage people to pick up after their dogs, promote public health, promote not having it in the playground where all these kids are playing. And so I'd love to hear feedback from the rest of the board members. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great, and I thought honestly it was going to be a lot more. So seeing these numbers, they're definitely doable. So I'm going to motion to go ahead and approve this $1,500 to 4 waste stations and the $300 for digital advertising, right? Is that what it is? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Adrian. Now we're opening up for discussions.
Question, have we tried sponsorship?
No, I have not reached out to sponsors for this.
Willie, do we know any of local, anything that has to do with animal pet or supplies in town that we might reach out to? I knew Dukes and Duchess has been in the town for years. I don't know if we could reach out to them, or I'm not sure who else is in the one on the Winn-Dixie Plaza, the pet hotel, right?
Do you mean like sponsors for the waste stations, for
Correct,
advertising?
for the waste stations.
So I wouldn't I guess my first reaction to that is I wouldn't want to just ask for 300 if we're going to give people advertising space. So if that's a route that the board would like to go, I think that's kind of cheap to sell sponsorship in a place that would be permanent. Personally, I feel like if we have some funding and we're comfortable with spending it just to address concerns that Miami Lakes residents have had, I'm comfortable using our neighborhood improvement committee dollars, but I'm open to hearing what everyone else has to say.
Okay, any additional questions?
Well, I'd like to just respond because, maybe this is where Committeeman Pineda was coming from, is just asking for sponsors to sponsor the item similar to what we did with the wrapping of the traffic control boxes, is to help cover the costs. I don't know if it's necessarily advertising that we're giving. They'll get advertising in the fact that they sponsored it, and I'm thinking of maybe even like from just veterinary clinics or even some of the dog places, even Petco that's over on 57th. I believe it's the Petco or other entities like that, just to help cover the cost. Because if we're able to do that, then it provides our funding for other items that we might be able to do. And like if we're not able to cover it, it's not that I'm saying no, I'm not against this. I think this is a great idea. It's just seeing if we can get some resources to be able to cover. So let me ask you another question: Is it was it $300 for all 4-way stations, or they're $300 each?
For each.
For each?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do they look like?
They look like the existing ones that are in. So we have approximately 40 already throughout all of Miami Lakes that are managed by the town. So it'd be similar to those. They're green poles. They have don't pick up after your dog, and they have like a little green basket where you drop in the bags.
Okay. And as follow-up to that is, so would this then SFM is already providing that, or has that been procured?
It's something that's already been provided, yeah.
So we would get it from FSFM. They will put up these boxes up already. It's part of their contract.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant for waste removal.
No, not for the removal, for the actual boxes themselves.
Right. So that cost includes putting them in. I spoke with Danny, and he said that we have a contract available to use for that service. I'm not sure if it's with SFM, but that's the price that the town gave me, including putting it in. Yeah,
Okay. And then with SFM, they wouldn't increase their costs with filling it up with new bags or anything like that. That's
No,
already
flat
that's
rate.
bulk priced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question just to clarify. So it's $1,200 for the 4 containers and $300 for digital advertising, right?
Yeah.
So a total of $1,500.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and then and to build on what Javi was saying, it's not necessarily asking vendors to or exchange them funding the project for advertising, like maybe putting a sign with the box. That's not what I don't think that's what he was referring to. What I see is more like asking the vendor if they can fund it, and then we'll give them recognition and say, through the digital marketing, with the help of this local vendor, we were able to add 4 more stations, right? So it's not
Not a permanent advertising.
right. It's not a permanent advertising. It's just for the project.
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to it if that's what the board wants. I think it might be good to use them to sponsor the digital ads, and then that way they can be in front of the camera and talk to people, maybe give tips about safety or dog, something related to animals. And then at the end, we give them time to talk about their business. I think that is something that could be pretty helpful, and it's something that the town kind of does with the videos that they go around airing about different businesses. So I'm in favor of that kind of economic development support, and highlighting local businesses behind a video camera. I think that's a good in between if you guys want to bring in the local business community.
If I can respond real quick,
Yeah.
what I think that's actually a great idea, and I think what you do, and this was kind of where I wasn't specifically saying for the actual stations, but if for them to just contribute to the total $1,500 cost to whether it's going to be for marketing or whatnot. But I think that's a great incentive to bring them on and be able to put on, because then it gives them some attraction.
Yeah. and we can get like maybe 3 different to give us 100 or something. And then, yeah, I think that
Couple
could be
100.
good because part of it is like trying to educate the community. It's not just at the parks, it's around your neighbors. I know, you know, my parents' neighbors, they have dogs and they don't care where the dog like leaves their, you know, their stuff. So I think, you know, the educational part.
What stuff
of
are they
it,
leaving?
their dog waste. Yeah. So I think the educational component is really good. And if we can get our business community in front of a camera to promote that, I think that would be a good, good thing to do.
And we could also piggyback on this in other areas in the town. I mean, if we educate it properly, perhaps other, you know, areas on the west side, I know we don't have any. And I think that would be great on not, it's not 87th, it's 89th. It would be great to have a few there, you know.
We're on 89.
Well, that's the one that leads to Barbara Goldman, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and by the parks would be great. I think Jakey Park has one. Not Jakey Park doesn't have one, but further down, the community park has one. But I think we only have one in that area. So yeah.
Yeah, like the little park by in the middle of 89th, leading towards Goldman. I don't think that one has one, but a lot of people walk their dogs there. Yeah.
And real quick question. So who would be doing the digital marketing?
Well, I guess that's a William question.
So here we go. So yeah, the town will be responsible for that. I don't know if you heard, but Brandon's leaving the town. Friday's the last day here, unfortunately. But once we have the new person inside, we have a video vendor that does the videos for us. So that'll be taken care of by the town. And the price could vary, you know, obviously what we're going to do. So if it's $300 the budget, we have to work around that budget to get it done.
And then I guess like that would be helpful working with sponsors, and you know, if it's a little bit more, then hopefully the sponsors would be willing to help out.
Or we get additional sponsors.
Yeah, we can also get additional sponsors. I take my dog to both Duke and Duchess and Doghouse, so you know I can
you
do
go.
my networking there.
All right, any additional questions? All right, so me personally, here's what happened, and I have a couple of questions for Williams. Williams, if we decide to take this route of sponsoring for either be the stations or the digital advertising, historically, what are we looking at time frame to somebody actually write us a check to go off and buying these items and putting them up, and you know, getting through the whole process?
So right now we are putting to action our sponsorship program, and that's something I'm responsible for. As far as putting the information out and putting the feelers out, that's something that we have to create a sponsorship package and send it out. Maybe a 2-month period, you know, more or less, to get everything executed. Put it on Eventbrite, what the pros are going to be, what we're going to offer them, which what seems here is now no signage on the box itself, but acknowledgement through the social media campaign and the video campaign. So those are things we have to sell to the sponsor, a potential sponsor. Are they okay with that? Because some sponsors might want a sign right next to the waste station. So it just depends how we're going to format it, what we're going to give in return, what's the return on investment, and we put it out. You know, if that's the committee wants to pursue that, you know, we'll put a package together and see what we attract, and we'll hit those particular sponsors that may be interested in something like this, because you got to find the right partner for each sponsorship. So that's the biggest key. The Petco, you know, pet supermarket. I know we don't have one here, but those are the ones that you would approach. The ones that have interest in you know, dog waste station and so forth.
Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb here. With all the transitions that are taking place right now with staff, and how I'm sure staff has a lot on their shoulders, I'm gonna feel comfortable to say that 60 days will probably become 90 days. Because I've been there through, I've been through that process. I know what it takes. Perfect example is the wrapping of those transformers, right? 2 years. 2 years. And ultimately, for A or B reasons, the columns were never added. And now we have to start that process again of the painting of the columns. So I am the opinion that we should move forward with, spending these funds. However, we can still spend them, get the sponsors, and put them where we want to put them. Also, historically, my experience with sponsoring, people want their names stationary in a place. What happened with the my God, I just went the Transformers. Thank you. Is their sponsor's name is on the bottom. So yes, some people just want the digital, and they'll put the name and it'll pop up on the website and the social media, but that's gone. That's just at one time. That is not an ongoing thing. The name there, it's what draws attention. It's that every single person that draws, that walks by with their pet sees that name and it keeps popping up and it keeps popping up. And it just does something psychologically to you that you're going to want to go into that place or give them a call, whatever the case may be. And I don't know how they do all those studies. So I'm in the opinion of, yes, it sounds like a great idea. We always want to get funding elsewhere. I think that's always our priority. But at this time, with the issue that we have, is that we should proceed. We have the funding, not because our budget is going to end in 2 months, and I want to spend, because I think we all know Rudy is definitely not a spender. And if we don't have the money, we don't have anywhere to allocate it where we feel it will do good, then hey, let it go to whatever general funding, and I'm sure the town staff will find a good use to it. So that being said, I still stand on my motion that we should utilize it now. The town should, at no rush, right? Because it's understandable. I don't find that to be an urgent matter. It's not an emergency. We can take our steps, do a ride. It's probably going to come back to our, to us 2 or 3 times until we get it the way it's supposed to be. And probably in 6 months, if everything goes well, we'll have somebody. So I still think that we should proceed and provide the funding, the better, the sooner, to staff so they can put those things up right away. And I think member Lesoto mentioned about procurement, and I don't think there's any procurement in this case because there's already a fee. There's a service that and a contractual obligation from these contractors and vendors. So it just sounds like a very, here's the money, here's the order to the vendor, and hopefully in the next 30 days, there will be up and working. Does that sound about right? Great. Yes.
Rudy, I totally agree with you. I think they're well needed. If not, we even need to get more. And I think, going and piggyback off on the marketing, a lot of times you start the digital marketing and maybe, a lot of the marketing, to do it for 300 or anything like that is ludicrous because you know that marketing is worth a lot more, especially on digital and permanent signs. And I think it's a great opportunity to perhaps, get local people to adopt these stations so that they can publicize, and then they're going to be paying a premium. And then with that money, we can continue to build on these areas that don't have them. But they're very well needed. And I think if we have the money to do it, let's go ahead and do it. And then we can come up with a marketing plan to replenish it and continue to build on putting in these stations in our area.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes.
Sure. Mr. Chairman, question I have is which funding source would we get this from? I was trying to pull up a prior budget where we're at, and I just want to make sure, because I know we have limited budget, in which category it's going to come from.
Our famous bike rides. That's probably about the only place that we have a budget. Yeah, which, that's it. The rest of them is like 200 or 100 and something. One bike ride, correct. Yes, it will be our bike rides.
We'll rename one of the bike rides as.
We definitely should, right? We just do a drive-by and say, hey, you see those right there? Yep, we put them, yep, that's it.
Now you know where the route's going to be. The routes are going to go right around the new stations.
The routes are definitely got to be by there. All right, any additional questions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against? All right, the ayes have it. Mr. William, you have some work ahead of yourself.
Yes, sir. I'll prepare the allocation of funds. And since it's over $700, Chairman, we need to go in front of council.
Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah.
Willie, can you remind us when the next report to council is? I think it's the 29th.
It'll be the next council meeting, second Tuesday of the month. It's at the council meeting, at the report. But we could
We're not transferring funds. We're just. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I think we do.
yeah. Actually, you're
Why
right.
don't you check, because we may
Let me
not
check,
need that.
because we're not transferring. Right,
Yeah,
going
we're
to-
not. We're not. Just
we're
check on that and let me know.
We may have to transfer to the Parks Department. So that
Right.
may be, so let me verify.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to new business.
Mr. Chairman, if before we move on.
Yes, sir.
I have a quick question, a point of order as to, as we're moving forward. I just realized there was an email I received earlier today from a Hope Reynolds. I was blind copied on. I don't know Hope Reynolds, but it seems she sent it to at least me and maybe others on the Neighborhood Improvement Committee,
Okay.
asking for public comments to be read into the record. I don't know if that's appropriate, but I just wanted to bring it up and see whether or not. you
I did not
wanted to
receive
revisit.
that. Did you receive that?
No, sir, I didn't
You
receive
did?
that.
So my only concern is I don't know if, if there's any legalities behind that as a committee member that we're allowed to read something that was, sent to us like in that kind of format. I don't know if it has to be done by a town staff or liaison.
So typically the town clerk and council meeting, she reads off.
Right.
I haven't received any direction from the town clerk today on this or the assistant clerk. People are welcome to do public comments in person during these meetings, the committee meetings. We may-
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't.
Saying now that you have to do public comments in person, that you cannot.
No, I just wanted to make sure we brought it up, and I think, in the event that she's watching, I think we just instruct, advise her that, that she, coordinate with the town clerk as to what, for the next meeting, if she'd like to make public comments at that time. But I just want to make sure that it was addressed.
Thank you. I appreciate
That was
it.
an email.
And thank you, Javier, for bringing that to our attention.
So if you're watching, Ms. Reynolds, please just provide that information to Gina, or you're more than welcome to be here present for your public comments. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 7A, community bike ride. So I'm going to go straight to the Blast Committee Chair, which thank you so much. We appreciate your time and coming out. And I'm just going to motion, to provide them the funds. I did speak earlier with staff, and I think it's about a little over $700 that's going to cost for this bike ride. So I'm going to motion to transfer those funds to the Blast Committee so they can have, their bike ride and definitely put the message out there and educate our residents on what's going on with blasting.
I was second.
All right, second by Mr. Lesoto. Any comments?
What is exactly is the $700 going to cover for the bike ride? Do we know that's for the police? And you have a route already for the bike ride?
Laid out, and we may be zigzagging from that general route. If any resident wants to showcase their home for whatever reason, we'll do so. We're not going down any major thoroughfare for any great distance, so there's no major intersection to be concerned of. So basically, starting out from the soccer park, going around to Satori. So that's the only stretch on 87th Avenue that will be on a more occupied roadway. Go through Satori and then exit on the south side, cross over 154 by the park, through that neighborhood and around. So with the intention of coming back through Royal Oaks and back to the park. So it'll be a loop, but we may have a little zigzag within those neighborhoods.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez, about how long is the bike ride in distance-wise?
We're figuring it'll be no more than, we're probably about 4 miles, is what I'm thinking of. But the issues, we're going to be stopping periodically, looking at issues so people can learn to recognize literally what they're seeing. That's the intent.
They already have damaged properties in Satori? In Satori, they already have, we have people that already have damage from
Quite a bit.
I would think more like the all the communities like the West Lakes and all that, probably there's more signs.
The issue is the damage is similar. So we're seeing damaged homes that are 3 years of age to 30 years of age and the same damage. It's seismic damage, and that's the purpose of this ride. So
No,
we need to raise awareness of what you're seeing.
no, I get it. I had to fix my pool 4 times in 17 years, so I'm familiar with the issue. Good.
All right. Is there any other comments?
Quick question is the amount is a $700 transfer, correct? And that would have to go to the council for approval?
No, it goes, they already approved the bike ride. So I would have to the funds go to the blast committee. And then, yes, the council would approve the transfer.
So you
But
would
they
have to
already,
go because
yes.
700.
Yes.
700, we still have to ask for
You do
approval?
699.
700 goes to directly to the town manager for approval.
Oh, it goes directly to town manager,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're good.
Yeah.
No, it's 700 plus.
Yeah.
It is, but less than 800.
So what's the ask? 750?
I would, you know what? I would say, let's say 800, and that way you guys are covered. So,
The officer, Miami Lakes Police Department, we're looking at 2 officers for 4 hours block of time. I think it came out to 760 or 780. I'm going by memory now.
yeah, just to play it safe, I'll amend my motion, call it $800. You have extra just to buy water or whatever, maybe, you know.
Get a lollipop.
That's it.
Now, no, once it goes over 700, council.
So if you do 890, you don't have to get a ticket.
Well, but
You may
there's
have
a possibility
You
I
may
may
have to go
have to.
anyway, so.
So yeah, just you know.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me think.
You said how much? No, over 700. Yeah.
799.
Well,
No,
699.
699. Yeah.
If
No,
it's
but 7, you can do
701,
700.
You have to go to the council.
All right. So I'll stay with the 800. And Mr. Vice Chair, in the event that unfortunately I can't make it, you'll be there. Great. Awesome. That takes care of that. We'll leave it at 800. If we need to go in front of council and we'll take care of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? All right. The ayes have it. You have your funding. Good luck with the ride. Please keep us posted. And good luck.
Yeah. I have a quick question. Where's it starting?
Royal Oaks. Royal Oaks Park.
Okay. Sorry. I must have missed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll continue with community bike rides. So it's funny how until you start telling people and you put this on the agenda and you realize how much people have missed these bike rides. And I know people like them, but until, people start calling us, oh my God, you're going to talk about that. Oh my God, they're coming back just right now. I got here a little earlier than the meeting started. And even the officers, that I told them, oh, that's awesome, man. We've been waiting for that. So I think is definitely due for that. And so what I wanted to bring is the first month, we typically do it starts in November. Okay. So that's the first, item that we want to do to make sure that November will be the first month. Okay. And it basically runs through November, December, January, February, and March. I think we might have 1 year gone all the way to April, which we did. It was an Easter ride. So as of right now, what we'll do is we'll leave it November through April because we all know how nice and cold it gets in May. So that will be the first one. Second, I know we left with starting up the themes. So I want to make sure, bring that back. And just kind of, that was a way of livening up the ride, right? Not just show up and ride because we're promoting this, and this. but it made it exciting to throw a theme. So we'll leave the theme as there as well. And now I'm going to open the floor for any great ideas on making sure that once we go out there, we put it out on the map and really call attention to our residents and returning of our community bike rides.
Through the chair, are we planning to do any night rides? I think that was
Yes.
Okay.
So let's put that. That's a standard one. And that's for the glow.
The chairperson, Loredo, yes, we may have one in September. Well, we need to have one for the MyGlow project.
Okay.
We are hoping to break ground in the next 2 weeks. And this is a path that's going to be lit on 170th. It's beautiful. I don't know if I've shared you guys the prints yet, but if I haven't, I'll resend it so you guys can see it. But it's going to be a very unique trail in the town.
So I think we still should have a night one in addition to that one. And now that we're, I think you just said maybe the December one, which we can have all the bikes lit up with holiday lighting. What do you guys think? For sure.
I love this. I love it. We can go caroling.
I don't know who's going to be singing. Definitely not me. All right, so we got that. So and of course, I'm just writing these bullet points, and at the end, we'll do a motion. So pricing definitely for the most spirited bicycle. All right, what else? Please, not everyone at the same time.
Maybe we can have like a spring, like flower power type of ride.
That will be for. That'll be for. Okay.
You're talking about themes.
That's a very different ride.
What month would that be?
March or April.
March. Okay. So March. What was it called? Flower what?
Flower power.
Flower power. I like it.
For April showers, bring May flowers.
No, yeah, we don't. Well, which one is it?
It's May, but we can do
May?
it for April.
Is it May?
Yeah, because April showers bring May flowers.
Oh, damn.
So we can do April.
April.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So April flower power. I like it. Does that mean that I'm gonna have to grab a flower and hit you across the head and make sure it hurts? No. No. Okay. Good. All right.
I think we can do for November, if we don't have anything for November, is maybe do like it's Health Awareness Month.
Okay.
So they can do a bunch of different issues. We can, obviously
like
healthy bike rides, and maybe we can even talk to some of the medical providers in the area that might be able to want to bring out little packets or.
And their tents,
put
put their tents out there.
Yeah.
We'll loop in the health department. These are November's also tobacco awareness prevention. Tobacco prevention as well.
It's all
November. It's all under the same umbrella.
Maybe we can have like a picnic after one, like a huge. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there, like No. I don't.
Are we still talking about the same one? I'm a little lost here. We're still held in November.
She's talking about the flower power one.
Oh, the flower power. You went back to the flower power?
No, I'm just thinking through. I mean, if we're talking about sponsors, if we bring like a health provider, or like
Right.
someone bringing food, maybe like fruits or something.
Yeah, typically they can. They bring like little tents and that kind of stuff, and they'll provide information and literature.
We could do one for the farmers market.
Will they be back in the fall?
Yes, they should
Fall and
be.
winter?
When are they going to come back?
The farmers market is scheduled to be there throughout the year. So for now, I know there's.
Throughout the entire year?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there were some bids recently, and they're reviewing those bids. So.
But that's more of a starting or ending point. Right, so we can
Starting
end there.
earlier and by noon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can start there and end there. Hey, because typically what happens, you drive there, and then if we end at another location, you got to take your. Yep. So definitely okay. So one of the rides, and I guess we can pick a month. Start at the in Main Street and end in Main Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be an east side override.
That could be our east side ride. Yes.
And that has an economic theme to it too, because
Yeah, you
we're
could-
pushing people into Main Street.
Yeah, you can do movies,
Yeah.
you know.
I like that. Yeah.
We can get the Economic Development Committee.
Yes, sir.
involved.
I could
Get
take
them to
my ET
transfer
bike.
money our way
Yeah.
for once.
We could all be ET on
I can speak with Chairman Alvarez over there.
All right. All right. Ms. Prieto, talk to me.
Microphone.
The bike ride, is that okay? There.
Yeah,
No?
perfect. So you can, once you hear yourself on the speaker, then you're
Good
good.
to go. So, yeah, maybe February we'll do, some sort of a renewal with the new year and, maybe people that have, things. that they-
Valentine's?
Or a Valentine's theme. There you go. Love and happiness.
That's it.
To go
Peace
with
and love.
Power.
Right before the flower power.
Right behind flower power.
I love it. All right. Awesome. Okay, Mr. Jesus. We have St. Patrick's Day. Is that in March? Yeah. Okay. End up at the brewery?
Yeah, we could do a chalice.
chalice?
We could start there and end there. I mean,
Okay, so March will be.
it'd be
There's
great.
a
We have the
bar
ale house
opening
there.
the Garrison or something. We'll have options. In that time. We need Flanagan's if it's St. Patrick's. We can go to Flanagan's, come back. We need a
Okay.
sponsorship from Flanagan's for the St. Patrick's.
Well, not Flanagan. We have the Ale House. Yeah, Flanagan's in Hialeah. Yeah, we gotta go under the bridge. I don't think we're gonna go that far for the ride.
We can get them to sponsor.
Bring them to this side. They do live in the town. Okay, what else?
Are we just missing
January, Mr. Reinaldo. The mic. Oh, how about a sports one? Is that Super Bowl in January?
No, that's February.
February? Okay, there goes that one.
But it will work. Sports theme.
Sport theme? I like it. That can be. We didn't do that last year. I like it. That can be fun. Yeah. Jersey, your favorite team?
We could incorporate starting at Sports Grill and ending at Sports
Ah.
Grill.
What is everything involved with drinking and eating?
I'm just
I love this committee.
I was even thinking the Traila, one of the co-owners, is a former NFL player.
Oh, the.
Ah.
That
Yeah.
place is
That's
so
on the
good.
website.
He served my lunch the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was owned.
Yeah, he's one of the co-owners.
But I think he'll be in Buffalo at that
Right,
time.
correct.
of
He'll
the
be in
year.
Buffalo by the time that starts. So
He's a Buffalo Bills.
But he's still playing? I thought he was.
he still plays.
Yeah.
Tell him he needs to come down for this event.
Not unless he's playing for the Dolphins.
All right, so I'm just updating some information. Give me 1 second.
We can get these venues to set up tents in the
Yes.
parks so that we're not identifying one venue. I think it would be very cool to identify the restaurants and everything else that we have pertaining to, the events that we're having. We don't need to just have it at one place. I mean, obviously the farmers market, I think is super cool to promote Main Street and the stores and things like that. But then the rest of them, maybe we could do like an open thing.
Absolutely. And I didn't want, I would be remiss if I didn't mention for the sports one, I think we definitely would hit up Shoeless and try to get, their contacts to the Dolphins. Maybe they can bring out some folks. It'd be a fun one.
I mean,
Yeah, I
but
like-
that would start again at Main Street and end at Main Street if we would do shoeless.
Maybe for sports, we can do, we can start at Optimus with the Sports Hall of Fame or something. Maybe tie that in. I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Remember, where we start, we have to end.
We have to end, right.
We
Yeah,
have
well,
to.
we would just incorporate it.
They're saying
No.
there's no beer at the holiday. We'll bring the beer there.
All right, so let me write down the themes, okay? So we can get that out of the way. So November, what are we agreed on? Health awareness?
Health awareness.
Okay. hold on. The December one. All right. So December, it's a holiday night. With a price. Okay, January, sports. February, Valentine's. March, St. Patrick's. And April, Flower Power.
With the farmer's market.
Yeah, okay. Flower Power.
And Easter. For those that celebrate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No Cinco de Mayo. We're good. We're good. This is a lot already. That's a lot. It sounds like a lot of drinking. By the time we get to Cinco de Mayo, I think we'll be done.
We're asking for names, right?
Okay, hold on. All right, so
We start with the beer.
all right, so let's now break it down by
Health
each item.
awareness to
What we
beer.
what happened?
Starting with the health awareness, ending with beer.
All right, so now let's break down each. So health awareness, and again, we're gonna come back probably, with a more clean version for the next meeting. I'll put it all together, but at least now we have something to work with. So health awareness, just give me one or two items that we want to reach out to.
Say we start off with the helmet.
Okay, so definitely we're gonna have helmets
Yes,
that
we
day.
started with the helmet
Safety.
giveaway.
Safety, okay.
I believe Willie mentioned the health department.
Yes, so we'll incorporate and also Bike 305, which we've had conversation with Sue
Right.
recently, and she's ready to go for our bike rides.
Willie,
And she's committed already, members to be at the My Glow with a trailer, sound system, and so forth.
Great.
Okay.
All right, so-
That'll be good kickoff.
Willie, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, do we not have a new vendor coming into town with bikes, or wasn't approved, or did it get approved?
I haven't received any updates on that. I know our transportation manager has been working on the motorized ones and the bikes. I'm not sure where we stand on that yet.
But there is some movement in that area. Though.
Yes, sir. He's addressing it. And keep in mind, we do have the bikes, our bikes that were donated by Bike 305. They've been branded with town logos, and they're ready to go. So they'll be part of the trailer that's here now when we deploy. When we have these bike rides, that trailer will be on site and fully operational. We can,
And how many bikes do we have?
14, I believe, or 13. So that'd be part of we can issue them out. And helmets, we do have some in stock. So we can, for sure.
So those bikes that we have that are the town branded, will they be available for people to use for the event?
Yes, sir. We'll bring them out. Yep. The trailer makes everything much easier now. We don't have to, we'll load it the day before. We have a sound system in there. We have the podium. Everything's great. Tents are in there, chairs. So it's
Grab and
also-
go.
Yeah, grab and go. It's also AC'd. So we can, that could be like a command station for us.
Great.
All right, so we don't overwhelm each item because this is still going to come to us at our next meeting. So far, we'll leave November health awareness, helmets and safety, health department, and Bike 305. Now, this one will depart from the west side, Picnic Park West.
Would we do that west side? Because wouldn't we be doing My Glow on the west side for December?
No, My Glow, it's in September. It's not part of these.
Oh, it's going to be September. Run?
Correct. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so picnic. All right, so second will be December, and we're calling that holiday night ride. It will be a night ride, and we already agreed that we'll do a prize for the bicycle with the most holiday spirit. Let's call it that. Okay. What else? Main Street. Yep. Definitely Main Street. Definitely. That's a good starting point. Yep. Yep. Main Street. Okay.
Do we know when, Willie, if the mayor's going to be doing again the lighting of the street, maybe we could tie it into that. I don't know if that's going to happen in November or December.
That happens in November.
Is it in
Yeah,
November?
Yeah,
We're
because
talking about 154th?
he's
No,
talking about
when they do the lighting
Main Street.
over here on Main Street.
Oh, Main Street. Okay. So
Yes, but now they have two lightings, correct. They have the one for Main Street and they have the one for 154th that they light all the trees. So they have
Oh,
two.
that's true.
So we're trying
154 is
to,
like
we're trying to
154?
bridge, yeah, we're trying to bridge,
both of them.
yeah, so, we've had conversations with the Grams. We don't want to outstage what they do, but they have, that's tradition there. So maybe the same time, the same day or the week before we can light the switch and everything goes on. So on both, on 154th and here in Main Street. So, yeah. And
So
we're
maybe-
hoping to add to that 154th, footprint.
And does that happen in November or December? Do you know yet?
November.
November.
It typically happens the weekend of Thanksgiving because I'm never here. Always out of town.
Okay, then forget that.
The Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yep, it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. Check. All right, so I think we're good with that one for now. Then comes January. So that will be a sports one. Where will we depart? And again, this all may change, but at least for now. Sports shopping center where the Royal Oaks or? Yeah, Royal Oaks Plaza? Or Shula's. Yeah, we're already doing the December ride. We're doing, yeah, what we talked about the sports is give, an opportunity to more than one vendor. So what happens is if we depart from one specific, then they would have to come there. And of course, the ones that are already there will have it a little easier. So I'm okay with the park. If we're doing, problem is we don't have anything in the east side. All the restaurants and everything, the majority of them are on the west side.
We could double up. We can go back to back 1 month. And then
Back to back? Okay. And then we're Main Street again.
I mean, if we do it here on this side, I think it has to be at Optimus, personally.
I mean, the good thing with Optimus is that, the parking lot, it provides, sufficient space for these vendors to bring the little tent and whatever it is that they're going to bring. And then that would maybe definitely the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame.
Yep. Okay, is everybody okay with that?
do a double east.
So this will be in East, January,
Food trucks.
East,
Food trucks, Willie says, at Optimus.
Yeah, that's something
Optimus.
you could
Yeah,
use.
Optimus.
That'd be something to consider for the committee.
What?
Food trucks.
Food truck, yes.
Yeah, so you stay stationary there. We come back,
Yep.
That'll be fun.
All right, so Optimus, East Ride, food trucks, and any other vendors, restaurants. That will be the January. Okay? We'll move on to our February, Valentine's. So Valentine's, maybe we can go out of the, what do you call the park? Youth park? No, not Brickell. Did you say Brickell? Oh, Bridge. I'm like, no, that's a long way.
Because that one would be on the west side since we did 2 east before.
Then Royal Oaks Park will probably be the next option. Or well, we did picnic already on November.
Royal Oaks, what we go down 89th or?
Yeah, the one that they did it last time, we went north first. Yeah, we have a route for that already. Okay. All right. So we'll do Royal Oaks Park for February. I would also do some kind of price for the most spirit. Yeah. Or how about no, sweater is typical Christmas, right? But we can make it kind of like, dress to impress or
Oh.
just dress to impress. No. Oh, that's funny. Okay, what do you guys think? Talk to me.
We could do best couple,
Oh, that's so cute.
like duo kind of thing. They do, or family.
Or family, yeah, family. What do you think, Ray? Sounds good.
He's gonna dress up as Cupid.
Rosie? Oh, boy.
Bike and heels, though.
Hey, I can dress to impress and still be ready for a bike ride.
We could do. Well, I mean, depending on the weather, we
No,
could
no.
do like a sweater thing too. I mean, but it has to
That's a
be.
hit or miss down here.
That's hit or miss. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1 or 2 days that we're gonna get it.
I mean, I would definitely think like, dress up for the theme. And then I guess, same thing with the rides, whoever, it's more dress for the theme and their bike and them together will have to be a combo kind of thing, not just your bicycle. I would say both. So maybe we have to, find our wording. How does that sound?
What else do we have in February other Valentine's?
Good. They're not. Some of them look like if your intestines are about to pop out. You can see them like 3 miles away. Your organs. Okay, so definitely some kind of pricing, dressing up for the occasion, decorate your bicycle.
And we could give the prize a dinner for 2 or something. We do that.
Yeah, we can figure it out what the price will be. Yeah.
Get one of the restaurants around here to donate.
To donate, for Valentine's.
Yeah, for Valentine's.
Yep.
Again, with Economic and Development Committee, get them involved. Promote the restaurants.
Yep.
Exactly. We could do something.
Gift cards and so forth.
For sure, restaurant, that would be great.
Yeah. So we're on to
March, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
I mean, that one speaks for itself.
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
Oh.
They have a Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
But Mardi Gras is
In
February.
March?
Yeah, March is, I just
No,
looked at it.
Mardi Gras is February.
The month of March, like Mardi Gras. And then you wear the beads, because then like if we go to, I keep calling it the wrong name.
Cellas.
We go to any beer place or anything like that, you're okay, because it's Mardi Gras.
Well, Mardi Gras is in February though.
Huh?
That's in
It-
February.
Is it in February or March 1st?
Every year it's different.
It overlaps?
I just looked at it, next year, it's March 1st, 2022.
Wow, that's late.
Oh, that's
It's
perfect.
always, Mardi Gras is always the date is the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday.
It's Tuesday, March 1st, 2022.
Wow.
Probably because they have 4 weeks. I mean, the next month probably has 5 weeks. That's right at the beginning of the month. I like Mardi Gras.
I like Mardi Gras because we
I
can
like
definitely do the whole.
Yeah, that is definitely different.
Best float, best bike. We could dress it up.
Ooh, I like it. Best flow. Oh,
If we can do something like music themed, like, I don't know.
for sure. I can get a speaker.
With it, I'm saying like.
I know this is the reason why this is the reason why they tell us we're an event planning committee, right?
Parade. Everyone brings like,
Creative
I don't know,
improvement.
music. We're the parade route, is what I'm saying.
Everybody on the bikes throws beads at people. in the bike.
I like it. So definitely Mardi Gras.
We're on the same page.
Oh, I know. I've been.
It sounds a lot of fun. I can't wait. It sounds fun. All right, so we got that. Then April, Power Flower. Flower Power. Sorry.
We're going to the
Farmers market.
Okay, so Farmers Market.
Main Street. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, except we're not calling it that.
No, harvest is like November. It would be a little odd.
I think the name should be Flower Power.
I think so.
It's catchy. Yep.
Everybody has to wear tie-dye shirts.
Tie-dye.
What kind of shirts?
Tie-dye.
Oh, tie.
You're so disappointed.
Yeah. So what type of shirt?
And flowers.
Tie flowers. Okay. Farmers Market. All right. So recap market. Okay. All right. So I think we're good. I'll clean this up and make sure at the next meeting we'll have a break it down of the agenda so that we'll go over. We'll finalize some details, and I will definitely have for the next meeting. Let me write a proposed writing date. So I'll have those already so that way we don't spend 3 hours on going back and forth. And then I'd rather have those and then we'll go from there and to see if those work. I know because I know I have to look at the calendar for the town to make sure that it doesn't interfere with, any of their events. Town calendar. Okay. Any additional comments? All right. So I'm going to not motion yet. I think I rather clean it up so that way everybody can see it perfectly on the agenda. So by the time we vote on it, it would just be one motion to vote on the entire thing, date. So that way we'll get all the information to the town police with ample time and town staff so they can prepare themselves. As we all know, it takes a lot to put these bike racks together, and their routes and all of that good stuff. Okay. So we're going to move on to item 7B, hurricane preparedness. So if you look in your packet, there's very clear document that you can read perfectly. I love it. All right, so the town pretty much put something together. We asked them to put something like this just to provide information to the residents out there, to the HOAs. I know that they wanted something like this, so it looks good. It's not too lengthy. I honestly didn't, my idea behind this is when you put too much information, it just, the message gets lost in translation. So it looks good to me, William. So I think with the blessing of the committee, we'll say proceed, and then the town can, provide it to the HOAs. If there's any addition, deletions you guys wanna, you're more than welcome. So we don't stay here for 3 hours because this could be a very tedious process. My recommendation is if there are any recommendations to add or I wouldn't say delete, just send it directly to William and let staff know if that's something that they can do and put it on there.
So any recommendations just sent to William?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll fast track the process.
Correct.
And I'll send the notes along with the flyer to communications.
Yes. And please thank Jeremy on our behalf. He did a great job putting this together. All right, any questions? No? All right, so we're going to item 8, announcements. Yes. Nope, just good to go. Yep. You know what, why don't we make it, let's make it official. All right, I motion to recommend staff to provide the hurricane preparedness information sheet provided by town staff to the community, of course, including our HOAs. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lay Soto. Any additional comments, discussions?
Only thing that I would like to see on it is something for communications for the elderly, some sort of, check in with town, see what they need. Not sure we could do something like that. I know we have a lot of elderly in the town that when it comes to hurricane, they're not prepared. I know you have the group that goes out there and does something. Correct. But we need to get that going, maybe get a list of those that need that help. Earlier is better than later,
Yeah, we could definitely, that's a great idea, Mario. We can share this with Jerry Squad participants, the people who have enrolled already. I think we're close to 35. It's what the chairperson advised me a few weeks ago. And just so you guys know about the Jerry Squad, Home Depot donated last year. We have kits that will give the volunteers to go out to these houses to put the shutters down. It has everything, drills, just everything that you may need, gloves, safety glasses, which we didn't have before. So now we're ready to carry out whatever they need at their homes, to
That's
secure
amazing.
it.
So
I think that would be my suggestion. Maybe adding like how people can sign up to be a part of Jerry's Squad on here. Just picking
I
back
like
off of that.
With that, Willie, I think it'd be good to add in point of contacts over at the town for emergency, as well as giving information on the town's apps, and to encourage people again to sign up for the emergency notifications from the town. I think it will be definitely helpful to include that type of information.
So my recommendation still stand. I think it would be best if we email Willie that information because, maybe you're really little, I just don't want anything to get lost. Those are very valid, good points. So if you guys can please make a note and email Willie so that way, they don't get lost. And also share this with the elderly elderly committee members, so they can disseminate this information at their next meeting and their members as well. They have a pretty large
No,
group of individuals.
We're up to 155 on the traveling bingo, so this information will be very helpful. And I did take quick notes what you guys just mentioned, but if you want, just to make sure, send me a quick note on email.
Okay, if there's no other discussions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Moving on to item 8, announcements. Ms. Roldan, do you have any announcements?
I have a congratulations to Mr.
Hey,
William.
go for it.
William was just promoted. I'm actually not sure what your title is, but I am very happy to hear
Thank
that
you.
you're going to be in Park. So
Thank you, thank you.
congratulations.
Leisure Service Manager.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
You will be missed.
I appreciate you guys.
I don't know
Thank
that
you
I'm
so
that
much.
happy because that means I'm going to lose you. We're going to lose you, but
Well, we're still together because the sponsorship stays under my management, so economic development, so we'll still interact. So I can't leave you guys. So.
What's the title again?
Leisure Service Manager. Leisure Services Manager.
I like that title.
Thank you.
all right. Ms. Diaz, do you have any announcements? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No, Mr. Chair, I do not have any announcements.
Thank you. Mr. Lesoto?
I would like to announce that this is probably the shortest meeting you've ever held for us, and I really appreciate that.
We've had shorter ones, but this is definitely in our top 3.
I'm talking about ones where there was quorum and we actually.
Oh, the ones. Good. All right. Mr. Ardila?
Oop, wrong button. I would like to announce that I am very excited to be here with you guys. This is a great meeting, and it was short, sweet, to the point. Rudy, amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mario?
No announcements. Thank you, Rudy.
Okay. Mr. Mendoza?
No announcements. Just wanted to echo what Adrian said. It's really good to be here and see each other face to face too.
Yes.
Awesome. Ms. Prieto?
No announcements.
Mr. Ray?
No announcements.
Awesome. Good deal. Listen, I'll make it short. I was a little disappointed at the last meeting. Okay. And if I didn't say anything, then you know it wouldn't be Rudy. Unfortunately, we did not have a quorum. And the disappointing part is not that we didn't have quorum, is that we did not inform William that we were not going to participate at the meeting. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to be times we're not going to be able to make it. It's understandable. But we need to be respectful of others' times. Okay? And it's just a very quick email when he sends out the agenda. What I did instructed William is this time around, like we did this meeting, is please request in writing, receipt of not only this communication, but if you will be making it to the meeting. It's just that simple. Again, we understand you're not going to be making it. And if you can, it's understandable, but please have that courtesy for the rest of, the committee members that were present here, that did show up. And unfortunately, we just didn't hear from you. So please, that's my only thing. Other than that, I'm definitely looking forward to all these bike rides again. A lot of people are looking forward. The community is looking forward, and I can't wait. It sounds exciting. And so that's it for me. And if there's no other announcements, I will motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:16. Second by Mr. Lesoto. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
I'll think about it.
The ayes have it. Have a good evening. And for those watching, thank you for taking the time to logging in and, participating in our meeting. And we appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thank you. That was awesome.